When people think of success, they often picture wealth, recognition, influence, or personal achievements. Yet, when we look at the life and teachings of Jesus, we find a very different definition. Jesus' view of success was not built on money, status, or the praise of others. Instead, he measured success by faithfulness, love, humility, and obedience to God's will. From the beginning of his ministry, Jesus made it clear that worldly success and heavenly success are not always the same. In Matthew 6:19-21, he taught his followers not to store up treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, but to store up treasures in heaven, where eternal rewards are safe. To him, true success was not about accumulating things, but about living a life aligned with God's eternal purposes. Jesus also emphasized servanthood as a key to real greatness. In Mark 10:43-45, he said, "Whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant, and whoever wants to be first must be the slave of all. For even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many." Here, he completely redefined success. Greatness is found in serving others, not in being served. This principle stands in sharp contrast to the world's model of climbing the ladder and seeking power. Another central theme in Jesus' teaching about success is obedience to God. In John 4:34, Jesus said, "My food is to do the will of him who sent me and to finish his work." His purpose was not self-promotion, but fulfilling the mission God had given him. For believers, this is a powerful reminder that success is not about fulfilling our own ambitions, but faithfully carrying out what God has called us to do, whether big or small. The Beatitudes in Matthew 5 further illustrate Jesus' countercultural view of success. He called the poor in spirit, the meek, the merciful, the pure in heart, and the peacemakers blessed. In other words, the people who may not appear successful by worldly standards are actually the ones honored in God's kingdom. Success, in Jesus' eyes, is about character, humility, and living in a way that reflects God's heart. Jesus also warned against the dangers of chasing after wealth and recognition. In Luke 12:15, he said, "Life does not consist in an abundance of possessions." He told the parable of the rich fool who stored up treasures for himself but was not rich toward God. The lesson is clear. Success without God is ultimately empty. What seems impressive for a season cannot stand the test of eternity. At the same time, Jesus never discouraged excellence or hard work. In the parable of the talents, Matthew 25:14-30, he praised the servants who were faithful with what they were given. This shows that diligence, responsibility, and wise stewardship are part of success in God's eyes. The difference lies in motivation, working for God's glory, not for selfish gain. Ultimately, Jesus modeled true success in his own life. By the world's standards, he was not successful. He was rejected, mocked, and crucified. Yet through his obedience, sacrifice, and resurrection, he accomplished the greatest mission in history, the salvation of humanity. His life proves that success is not about appearances or popularity, but about fulfilling God's purpose with faithfulness and love. For Christians today, Jesus' teaching invites us to rethink our goals and values. Success is not measured by how much we own, how many followers we have, or how high we climb in society. Real success is walking in faith, loving God and others, serving with humility, and leaving an eternal impact. When we live this way, we align ourselves with the kind of success that lasts forever.